Let's start with the easy question, which is this is like a completely different movie than the first one, budget-wise, CGI, all that kind of stuff. Talk to me about the difference between that, because this is like a fancy, real movie, you know?
I'd love to hear the difference between your viewing experience of the first movie and your actual being in the movie experience in the second movie.
They're completely different things, viewing and being in the film. I mean, the first, you know, like you've been saying, the first film had very blue tones and was very, you know, it was very dark and so on and so forth. And like you were saying, Catherine had brought a sort of an independent filmmaker's directorial experience to it, and this one, it's interesting because as the franchise is going along, it's maturing in what it's doing, and the story itself is obviously maturing because that's what happens in the books, and there's, you know, obviously new characters and new things to think about.
Eddie, your character dies in this movie. Are you ready to end?
You put it like that, man. And I don't want to answer any of your questions.
That's not, but we're done now, huh?
We're done. Finito. You're dead to me.
No, but really, talk to me about that, because this is kind of you're finished now.
Yeah. You know, two ways to look at things: glass half full, half empty. It's not that I'm not in the third or the fourth one, but I was in the first two. It's been a gift and a blessing, and I've enjoyed the roller coaster.
Nice. All right, guys. Team Edward, Team Jacob. Give it to me straight. Not your movie character, but like real life on the street. Who are you gonna fight for?
I'm not gonna fight for either one of them, but I am Team Edward. I believe in what the heart of the whole story is. It's at its core, it's about this vampire who has found the reason to exist. You know, it's taken him his entire life, and he would die for her, and she's fallen in love with the vampire. I mean, this is why we're here, and it's their story that I connect with the most. Jacob's cool, and I love Taylor, but I'm Team Edward.
You guys had to do a little more working out, like fight scenes, that kind of stuff in this movie. I mean, you got to fight a little bit, Eddie. What's the preparation for that? What do you guys have to do to get ready for something like that?
I actually look like the wolf pack in real life, but they asked me to slim down, to sort of, I genuinely look like I have a six-pack, but they asked me to slim down and get a little bit looser for the role. Eat a few more burgers, but only sort of here and there. So that was my.
Too outrageous.
Yeah, exactly. And don't get fat, but get thin and loose.
Ah.
That was my preparation.
Really, that's awesome.
He did a perfect job too. Very dedicated.
Yeah, I mean, it must have been a tough job.
It was. I put my mind to
it. So, what are fans gonna see in this movie that's different from the last one, and what's gonna kind of surprise them, wow them?
I think I like what you were saying just about how the franchise is maturing. I think that everything's always change, and they're either changing for the better or they're changing for the worse. And I think that they've pulled all the great aspects from Twilight and they made another movie, and that's New Moon. And one of my favorite aspects of that is the action and the forward storytelling of it. And I think that's going to bring in a whole new demographic to the theaters, and that demographic is going to be guys who didn't really want to open themselves up to a romance story.
Sure. Got anything to add to that? He's being really eloquent today.
Yeah,
he's
he
like
was
taking
just
care of business.
He's stealing all my stuff. No, he's not. He's not. You know, the action side of it is, you know, will be a big draw for gentlemen in particular, and you know, obviously you've still got the fundamental love story there between Bella and Edward, and that heartbreak there, and it's very moving, and it's just a great piece of cinema and a great story.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
I will steal gentleman in my next spiel.
Gentleman.
That's just better.
You should do that.
It's just better.
You should talk in his accent for the next one, too.
I will, but I'll butcher it, but I'll do it.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Do your Nairobi accent.
I should do
that was good.